60 seconds. I'll be back with more, including the interview with Peter Mathews. And if California is doing so well, how about sharing some of that billion that's better than you projected the last time we talked?
Your commute feeling shorter? That's just a side effect of listening to your voice, KTLK AM 1150.
In this hour, I've been telling you about how the economic news out this week should be making us all feel happy, and we should feel like we're in tall cotton, as we say back in the South, and we're actually not. We're finding out that most of the people I know are still struggling to do more than just keep up with their expenses. They're hoping they'll be able to start saving money again. They're hoping someday, if they've lost their home, they'll be able to maybe buy another one. For now, they just want to pay bills. The unemployment rate, well, here's one thing that the rate does not always reflect. How many people have left the job force? All right. The man who can help explain that, who can help explain the choppiness of the stock market, Peter Mathews, professor from Cypress College, on with us. Professor, thank you for being here.
All right, good to be here, Dave.
Okay, Peter, so break it down for me, sir. The stock market slumping. I mean, we lost a lot of the gains from May and June. For people who don't understand what this really means, explain to me what happened.
Well, it dropped from 15,888 points down to 14,758 points. And that's a big, significant drop of 354 points, Dave. And what happened was the investors started getting worried about what the Federal Reserve was going to be doing in terms of its buying $85 billion worth of bonds every month. The Fed was pumping in $85 billion in the economy every month for the last several years, and that kept the economy going. It kept the demand there. It kept people being able to borrow to go ahead and get jobs created, but there weren't that many jobs created. But people felt good in the stock market, at least, that the money was coming in. Now,
so wait. Before you go to step two, let me understand this. So the Fed was going in, and they're basically buying they're helping to stimulate the market, because if you're an investor, you pretty much knew the Fed was backing you. So the chances of failure are pretty slim. Now the Fed says, you know what, we're going to have to take the training wheels off this bicycle. Now you're going to have to go on your own. So what happened? What did Bernanke do? And how did the market react?
The reason he did that was he felt that the economy was improving slightly, and he wants to taper this thing off within less than a year. So the market immediately reacted, saying, whoa, wait a minute now. That means no more money coming in from the Fed. Maybe there'll be less jobs created. Maybe we'll have a downturn in terms of profits. And so people start selling. They wanted to hold on to the profits they already have now and not have any more losses, because they speculated that the market's going to go down, and then it played on itself and it went down even further. That's really what happened.
So let me see if I get this right. Wouldn't this then tell you the following? Wouldn't it tell when I was first learning how to ride a bicycle, I fell over and scraped my knees a lot, and my wife had to, help me. Oh, I never had a bike as a kid. But let me just say this to you. Professor. If, in fact, now that the stimulus or that kind of support from the Fed, if we're now being weaned off of it, would the reaction this week be a truer reflection of where we are than what we've seen in this artificial stimulation over the last few months?
Yes, definitely so, because now the training wheels are off, and if the economy doesn't keep going, we know that it was an artificial stimulus, an artificial system going on, and we need to get the real thing in, and that has to do with getting more people to work, getting money into small businesses' hands, Dave, and that's what we haven't been doing. That's the problem right there, to create more jobs. Small business and bringing in money to keep hire those firefighters and all those workers, people like policemen and all those teachers. That's what's got to be done, and that would be the true way to stimulate the economy. The Fed pumping money in is not the best way. It's just been the temporary Band-Aid for right now.
Well, now let's talk about the unemployment in general. When I see the new norm of 8.6% being praised as though that's a good thing, my good friend, I remember days when if it wasn't, in the 7% range or less, we would be concerned. Are we supposed to believe that 8.5 or 8.6, and that's just across the board, that that is the new future for all of us?
We certainly are not going to accept that. We can't accept that. In fact, California's economy was the fifth largest economy in the world just a few years ago, It's dropped to the ninth in the economy, ninth in the world right now, as far down as ninth. And I would say, just as Nero was fiddling while Rome was burning, California's government has been fiddling while our economy has been burning, Dave. They haven't been keeping things going the way they should. They've been cutting on all kinds of things like education, infrastructure, and they've been giving corporate loopholes to big companies. So this California government has to get its budget straight. It has to bring the funds in, invest in California people, and then go ahead and stop giving away money to the biggest corporations like that. And that means fiscal responsibility and getting things back in order. I don't see it happening yet. I really would urge our California legislature and governor to get it together and start putting California back together to be fifth largest in the world, not ninth in the world right now.
Give me the title of your book, because I know that's going to be coming out, and it's a tremendous look into the economic realities of today.
Yes, it's called Dollar Democracy, with Liberty and Justice for Some. And the subtitle is Reclaiming the American Dream for All, because we've got to do that. This is a great country. We can bring her back to where she was and to lead the world in that sense and to build our middle class back up.
So my final question, when we are looking at a governor who is frugal, and no one disputes that, and we have seen that, for instance, tax revenue has come in at $1 billion better than earlier projections, wouldn't it be a smart thing, rather than just keeping the money in or under the mattress, that perhaps some of this money ought to be infused into some kind of micro loans or things like that for small businesses, my good professor, so that people have a way to hire more Californians and expand their companies?
Matter of fact, it's been $3 billion more than what he projected. The LAO said it was $3 billion more coming in. $3 billion, not one. But here's the thing, Dave. Let's set up a California state bank that would make loans to community banks that would lower the interest rates to small business and get the money in their hands to go ahead and be entrepreneurs and rehire our people once again. The salvation will be small business and infrastructure, including education, by the way. And Governor Brown cannot be frugal at this time. He has to be very measured and careful, but spend the money and stimulate the economy in the right way and get it growing. Rebuild it, not just stimulate it, but rebuild it in doing what I just suggested.
Well, I'll close with this as I opened, and that's this. In talking to a lot of young people, and I'm doing so today and for the remainder of this weekend at a huge national convention of youth up in Las Vegas, and I'll tell you something, I am seeing more than ever concern in the future generation, my professor, of young people telling me they don't know what the future is going to bring for them. What do you tell the kids of California who have the best of intentions but are seeing doors closing to them in community colleges, in schools of learning, and now even in the job market, because they're not experiencing the kind of uptick that these numbers would seem to want to tell us?
That's right, and that's the real tragedy, is we're giving hopelessness to our young people. I try to give them hope once again by saying we can get involved once again, start a social movement like we had back in the earlier days when we got people together to demand certain things from the government. And let's tell the government we need to make sure the education is available, that jobs are created through small business and through government. And this, young people, call your member of the state legislature. Call your governor. Email them. Use your social media to get a social movement going, Dave. And when I say, if the people lead, the leaders will follow. That's my slogan. And with the people who are young people should be leading all the people, so leaders will follow and do the right thing. I think
I love that. I love that. You've turned it. I'll tell you, you flipped the script, as my kids say. Professor, you are a hipster, man. Let me tell you, I am impressed. I thank you so much, Professor Peter Mathews, Cypress College, and a regular commentator here on all things political. I appreciate it, sir. Have a good Friday.
Thank you, sir. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, there is so much more to share with you. Don't forget Dollar Democracy. Yeah. Tell you what, liberty and justice for some. Reclaiming the American dream.
Your voice, KTLK AM 1150, where listening is a virtue.